Okay, so today we are talking about capability statements for your small government contracting business. As you can see what I have on my screen here, we're going to be jumping around a few different things. We have our single-sided capability statement. We have our double-sided capability statement. What happens if you don't have past performance? Questions like this we will be diving a little bit more into as we go through the CAPE statements. Also, after we go through the CAPE statements, we are going to be answering these two main questions. What do I not need a capability statement for? And then how can I use my capability statement? Those are just two very powerful and questions that we get all the time that I am going to want to take some time to respond to as well today. And I'm doing something a little bit different as I like to continue to mix things up. We are actually going through the back end of my flagship training today, my flagship course, as you can see here. But before we do that, if you are hanging out with us, getting your daily dose, maybe you're watching the live premiere and you're getting your daily dose of our Monday through Friday government contracting videos, comment daily or daily dose so that we can start acknowledging you guys in the comments for those of you who are showing up every morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, to get the daily dose government contracting and trainings. Now, with that being said, as you're writing daily or daily dose, this is actually the back end of my flagship training, and I haven't really shown this, I don't think, at all on the channel, but I'm going to show you where the capability statements live, because we actually have a huge arsenal of those. But we also have our week 1, week 2, week 3. These are our other trainings. Then we also have many bonuses. As you can see, we have our bid systems training, GovCon, industry reports, ground maintenance, environmental, janitorial, and then you'll also see that we actually have capability statements that are going to mirror those industries. So when we go to the template library, we have proposal templates, subcontractor templates. We also have capability statements, single and double-sided versions. So these are all the different industries, and I'm just kind of pulling on the professional services CAPE statement today, as I showed you just a second ago with the single-sided and the double-sided versions. But we also have many other additional bonuses like Microsoft Word training for writing proposals. We have our LMM live class recordings, got the whole class. That was a investment for those who attended that live. We also have Capability Statement Design Studio if you actually need to learn how to put your own capability statements together. We have so much in the flagship training. It is so comprehensive. There's no way to really speak to everything that we have in here. So I'm just kind of showcasing a little bit, and I'll probably showcase some other things in the future. And again, today we are focusing on the CAPE statements from the flagship course. So for the double-sided, okay, so we got the double-sided pulled up. I'm just going to kind of walk you through if you are newer to CAPE statements, then we'll answer some of the questions a little bit later on. A CAPE statement, in essence, it's really a snapshot of your government contracting small business, okay? And on the CAPE statement, you are showcasing the most important information at a glance that a contracting officer or maybe even an end user might want to see to perhaps pair or match you up with a potential requirement, something like a statement of work. Maybe there is something kind of in the works, a contract's getting teed up, right? A solicitation is being built. Capability statements are a good way to kind of match your company, especially in like the early source of sought stages, things like this. So we are indicating our cage code. The DUNS actually, this is an older template, right? That's actually the unique entity ID at this point, so the UEI. Okay, so you have your company identification information that is from, in 2025 at least, sam.gov. Okay, DUNS number is out. You have your company mission. If you don't have one, you're going to have ChatGPT help you craft a one-sentence mission statement, right? You have your company overview. ABC Companies headquartered in Fort Worth, Texas, has been providing exceptional staffing services to its customers since opening in 2009, right? And if you're a company that's not, maybe you are legal middleman and teaming, okay, we're going to talk about that as it relates to capability statements too. But if you do have some information to put down here, this is the place where you can put it. You're also going to focus on your technical services, just 1 or 2 sentences. Could be engineering, professional, administrative, facility support. For those of you who are using Umbrella, right, this would be a great place to put for the technical services from within your umbrella, which is why I'm always so passionate about speaking about that, because once you get that umbrella carved out, everything after that pretty much fills itself out. After that, we very naturally have our NAICS codes, 541330, 561, 110, very nicely kind of spaced out. And again, further reflective with the actual 6-digit codes that would be making up whatever is inside of your umbrella. After that, we do have a quality commitment. It's a great line that applies to all contracts. Our team of experienced contract managers works diligently with our government customer to ensure the quality of our service is unparalleled and all performance metrics are met. Okay, it's just a nice vote of confidence for your company. Now, if you do have experience, like we talked about, if you do have past performance, this is a great place to showcase some of your projects. For example, could be, you can see we have here medical coders, admins, logistic coordinators, but more importantly, we're showcasing the title, the agency, the location, the dollar value, and the year or the period. So all that information has been captured in just a few short lines here. Again, this is a snapshot. This is summary. This is very short and sweet, but it showcases so much important information. We also have a dedicated team here. When you work with ABC, you're working with a team that is dedicated to completing all contractual objectives within the scope of work. ABC will also assign one of our experienced team members to oversee the contract, provide regular feedback to the contracting officer and the contracting officer representative as needed. Our dedicated team is not satisfied until all expectations have been exceeded. I mean, sounds great, right? And it really should be your modus operandi, if they say. It really should be your mission as a company to get good CPARS ratings, to get a good report card, to get good feedback on the contracts that you perform on. And again, have ChatGPT, whatever AI is your favorite, help you to come up with, a quality commitment section, a dedicated team section, especially if you're not sure what to put on your CAPE statement, especially if you feel like you don't have too much to showcase. Okay, you can focus on the approach, even on the technical services, focus on the services, your umbrella, even on the NAICS codes, right? You do have all this information, even if you're new. Your mission statement, right? Your company overview. Aside from that, you do have your company profile. So again, we're going to rehash. It'll be the UEI number, the CAGE code. If you have any designated set-asides, aside from total small, if you're woman-owned, STV, OSB, 8A, hub zone. And then it's really important that you spell out your literal contact information, both email and phone number. This way, contracting, whoever who needs to get in touch with you, they're not like looking all over the place to find something that they can't find, right? Then we also have, if you have a website, you can leave your website on here. You have no shortage of space for that. Company logo, it looks very nice. Your branding colors, whatever those happen to be, you can customize it. We've got the nice icons that, really help to navigate quickly, again, through the document. It's nicely put together. You can change out the photos, whatever. But it's showing you at a high level what's going inside of your CAPE statement. And again, in a few minutes, in a little bit, we'll talk about more use cases for this because that's also a very important part of the conversation. Now, for those of you who are teaming and you feel like you have even less to showcase, I recommend sticking to the one-pager, right? You don't have to use the double-sided. Now you have twice as much, space to fill. And that's kind of what we were just speaking about. But if you want to stick to the one-pager, by all means, it makes it easy for them anyways. So on the one-pager, again, it'll be CAGE and UEI. You have your company information overview here. So just like the last one. And if you feel like you can only write 1 or 2 sentences, have ChatGPT help you with creating a company overview. And if you do that, create your umbrella and then feed that umbrella, and the AI will be able to help you fill out these sections, right? We also have our technical capabilities. Once again, your areas of focus. We kept the quality commitment because you can be new and still have a quality commitment. That's fine. Even you could use the dedicated team if you like that one better. That's fine too. And then up here is where we put really the company profile. So UEI, cage code, set-asides once again, and then your POC information, name, email, phone number. And then we have a few NAICS codes. Okay, we don't have as many. We had 8 over here. And this time we have 4. Okay, so take your 4 best, your 4 most relevant codes. Got a spot for your website, logo, company name, all this good stuff. Right, still got the picture you can change out, branding colors, it's all still here. It's just reduced, it's more summarized, and it doesn't look like anything's missing on this document, right? So for those of you who are feeling like you don't have enough, once again, a one-pager could be a great solution to that problem. Now, when do I not need a capability statement? So this is really important. 99% of the times, sometimes I say 95, sometimes I say 99% of the time, you do not need a capability statement to respond, right, to solicitations, to put together actual proposals to live bids. 99% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, a CAPE statement is not required as part of your proposal or as part of your technical response. Instead of that, you're going to be responding to other information, like maybe providing a staffing plan, maybe providing resumes, maybe just writing to the statement of work, maybe answering specific questions in the solicitation of how you will actually perform the work, timelines, quality control plans, right? That's typically what we're seeing asked for in the technical part of the proposal, not a capability statement. So a lot of you guys seem to think that you need your capability statement so you can start bidding on contracts. And I'm here to tell you that you do not. It's definitely great to have something in your back pocket if it's ever asked for, but it is not officially asked for 99% of the time in the proposal. It's more of a, well, we'll get to some of the use cases where you may be asked for it, right? And then likewise, and furthermore, you're not needing a capability statement to win contracts. Okay, getting contracts, winning, getting awarded, has nothing to do, there's no correlation between how good your capability statement is, right? So it's not something that you need to over-invest time, you don't need to over-invest money into something like that. You know, it can be great to get templates and things like that if you want to just shortcut and maybe throw a little bit of money at it and, you know, be done with it. You know, awesome, I think that's great. But you don't need to overkill it because it's not going to result in a contract being awarded to your company, right? So we don't want to over-invest. Now, when can I use my capability statement? I say pipeline and credibility. So capability statement uses are great when it comes to pipeline and building credibility. So when I say pipeline, what I mean is actually elongating. So going further to the left of the requirement. So I did a video recently for those of you who follow the Daily Dose. If not, you want to go back a few videos here on the channel GovKidMethod. I did a video on the 4 stages of a bid. And stage 1 is sources sought, stage 2 is pre-solicitation, stage 3 is solicitation, and stage 4 is award. Okay, and those actually go in that order, in that sequence. So when it comes to sources sought, that's stage 1. That's market research. That's the contracting officer saying, hey, you know, we have something coming up for the future, maybe in 60, 90 days, right? We're interested in knowing, will any maybe small businesses, or what type of small businesses would be interested in responding to this requirement, because based off of the responses we receive, maybe we can set this aside for small business or 8A or, you know, Hub Zone, 8A, Hub Woman-Owned Small Business, SDV, OSB, you know, whatever. You get the point. Sources sought is very pivotal for making those decisions. So when you're responding to a sources sought, one of the main things they ask you for is called a tailored capability statement. So you don't just, you know, send this. You don't just send this off, the double-sided or the single-sided. You'll have to tailor it, meaning you'll want to match the NAICS code for the requirement. Put that at the top, okay? You want to emphasize where there is the overlap of, say, the scope of work. Bring that to the top of your list, of your capabilities. Maybe focus on only those capabilities to match the scope of work, right? Maybe don't include too many of the other things that are like not relevant. If you do have something, you know, special, say you're using the second pager, that's more specific, you got a little bit more space for it, you can add that into your company overview or your technical services. Like if you have a, competitive advantage of sorts in this area that you're wanting to convey, again, through the tailored capability statement, meaning you change this bad boy with every source of SOT that you're going to go after. It should be tailored. You don't just send the same thing out to everybody like a flyer. This is not a flyer, and it shouldn't be treated like a flyer. So this throws your hat in the ring for feedback, okay? Not to win a proposal, okay? You will not win a contract from responding to a source of SOT, notice, but it puts your hat in the ring for feedback. Say you're woman-owned, say you're just small business, okay? It'll give a little bit more emphasis to help contracting when they put all the responses on a table in the back room and say, okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. Maybe your response will help them to set this aside for something. And a lot of people talk about the rule of two, and it's not used, okay? So the rule of two, like, oh, if we receive 2 8A responses, we have to set this aside for 8A companies. No, they don't. That's not how that works. Maybe in some instances it's supposed to work that way, but it doesn't. Because guess what? They receive so many other responses from other people too. So at the end of the day, they have to match it up with what the small business goals are and overall what they think is going to be the best turnout. They don't want to make it overly restrictive and not have adequate competition 60, 90 days later when the solicitation comes out. And oh wait, these people that responded to the source of SOT, they didn't even show up to bid. They didn't even show up to the site visit. They didn't show up when the proposal due date was issued, right? So they have to take all of that into account. Okay, so just know that you can play a small part by responding to source of SOT, but what you're not doing is using that to win contracts or to respond to proposals. You're playing a small part to help influence the outcome of the requirement. Similarly, if you do attend GovCon conferences, again, I don't think they're the best use of most GovCon's time. I would rather use that time and money to actually, invest in your team or just to invest in your output and go after more opportunities, because that's ultimately what's going to win you a contract, is responding to proposals, not going to conferences, right? But if you do go to a conference and you feel like maybe it's local, maybe you're going to be there anyways, make sure you are bringing a capability statement. Because you're going to be in round tables, for example. I've been to many of these conferences myself, and they're going to ask for your capability statement. You may have an opportunity to sit down with a contracting officer or two with the agency, and you're going to be able to give them a copy of your capability statement. And then just rubbing elbows with other companies and small businesses at the conference itself might not all be government facing, but you can make friends, maybe you can network, maybe you can team up, JV, like whatever, it depends on what you have to offer. But your CAPE statement is essentially your business card in the government space. Think of it like your business card, but with a lot more information on it. Now, when it comes to your website, you do not need a website to bid on government contracts. You do not need a website to win government contracts. Yes, sometimes a contracting officer may visit your website, okay? It is not an evaluation criteria for awarding, okay? But if they do, for example, you could make your capability statement downloadable from your website. It builds the credibility. So this is the credibility. The source of SOT, that's the pipeline part. Conferences, having your CAPE statement gives you credibility. Website, having your capability statement is going to give you credibility. Okay, so to be able to send a contracting officer to your website to download a CAPE statement, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like, that's pretty cool. It's not going to result in an award, but it definitely makes you more credible. It makes you appear more established. It makes you, just seem like you're not a brand new government contractor. And to some extent, not being a brand new government contractor does convey slightly, okay, a bit more confidence to a contracting officer. Contracting officer, they really hate working with these green newbie companies that have no idea what they're doing, because they pose a big risk to the mission, to the contract, right? So establishing yourself, boosting up your credibility, it certainly never hurts. And yes, it can be part of an overall marketing strategy per se, but it is not the most important thing. But just know, if you have a website or if you have plans in the future, again, don't stop what you're doing to get one. But if you do that, making your CAPE statement downloadable could be a good, move to gain a little bit more credibility for your business. Now lastly, I think this is probably the most practical of all of these, is if you are using a teaming approach, okay, and you're calling around and they've never heard of your company and maybe you don't have a website, having a capability statement could be a great follow-up, a good 1-2 to send to the teaming partner if they're saying like, well, you're a new company, you know, I don't know if I want to team with you. It can help build your credibility that way. So when you do that, you can probably customize and tailor that CAPE statement as well to, again, whatever that requirement is that you're discussing with that teaming partner or that potential teaming partner, right? That way you kind of have this ready to go and you send it out to them. It lets them know what you're all about. It showcases your credibility in another light, and it just kind of helps you to get over not being totally established and being a new company. And for that reason, you know, I like CAPE statements for this piece. You know, a lot of you suffer from paralysis analysis, imposter syndrome. You kind of feel like a fake. It's fake it till you make it kind of when you're starting out in any business. So having your CAPE statement to rely on to communicate that you are a credible partner could really, you know, fill a lot of gaps and pretty easily when you're getting on the phone and you're, you know, sending out requests for quote. You can include your company's capability statement with that as well. So what are you guys using for your CAPE statements? Do you have capability statements? Is it something that holds you back? Do your capability statements look like what we've showcased today? Do you use a one-pager? Do you use a double-sided capability statement? These are all very interesting questions that I would love to hear from you. Drop those down below in the comments. Now, if you want additional training, I have my Win Contracts Fast without wasting time and money. I highly recommend it for everybody. Okay, I'll drop the link down below for that, and maybe I can just pull that up really quickly here for you as well. It's a very simple thing. You just jump in, okay, name and email, and then you'll be in. Okay, we run these, I think they run like every 30 minutes or something like that. So you probably won't have to wait whatsoever. And in that, you're really gonna get a plan for what to do over your next 12 months in government contracting. So recently you got your CAGE code, you're trying to figure out what to do. Maybe you're hearing different advice, supplies, services. You know, clarity is the most important thing at this stage. And if you want clarity, a big part of knowing what to do is knowing what not to do, what not to focus on right now, okay? So in this training, I actually lead with literally sliding things off of the table. What should you not focus on? What should you not do? I slap your hand, don't do that, okay? And then after we get you straight, we got a clean slate for you, then I tell you, I show you what you need to focus on going forward. If you're trying to win contracts fast without wasting time and money, it is the straightest line between 2 points. Maybe you're a military person, you understand this. The shortest distance between one point and another point is a straight line. And I give you the straightest line you could ever possibly get. You don't need to take the scenic route. Okay, you don't have to do all these other things, spend all this money. You could literally just do what I share with you in this training if you want to optimize and basically get to the front of the line of winning contracts as fast as you possibly could. It's not necessarily easy, but we cut out all the fluff, all the crap, all the unknown, and just give you clarity, and then I put it in your lap and say, do you want to do this? Like, is this what you want to do? Because this is exactly what you need to do. So again, you get all that and more in the training, and I boil it down to 35 minutes or less, and it's totally free. Link for that is down below in the video description, and in the comments I'll put that in there as well. Aside from that, we've got my book. We're running the 90-day bid challenge where I help you respond to 10 contracts over the next 90 days, so 3 months working together with me. We offer funding, factoring, proposal writing services. If you're an established business, you need somebody to write the proposals for you. Accounting. So we have so many other services depending on where you're at and what you're needing support with. If you're interested in any of those, more importantly, if you need any of those right now, just shoot us an email. You can email me and my team at support@govkidmethod.com. And most importantly, guys, if you're still with me, kudos to you. And I will say is, if you are newer to the channel, thank you for watching this video. Consider subscribing, as I am truly committed to showcasing and being transparent, the truth about government contracting that the industry won't tell you and that you won't find in the other pockets of YouTube University, okay, here online. You know, I don't try to give you what you want, I try to give you what you need. So many people find me and they say, Derek, man, I wish I found you a year ago. You know, I got down the rabbit hole, I was listening to this training, and I have nothing to show for it. And we're literally trying to just shortcut the path Okay, cut all the crap. Like, let's get to what really matters. If you're truly somebody who's trying to use government contracting as a vehicle to change your life, I won 32 contracts worth over $15 million, and government contracting changed my life, and I believe it can change yours too, right? And I've helped small businesses over the last 5 years to win over 75 million, more than that after this busy season, closer to over, well, I don't even have the totals. But truly changing lives. And I'm talking about small businesses, new businesses, businesses that got their cage code this year, okay? Changing lives, quitting jobs, hiring family, hiring, friends. It's what you want to make out of it, okay? And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it is a vehicle, and it is hard, it is challenging, and I'm glad that it's hard because it keeps people who are not serious out, okay? If you think this is get rich quick, other people are telling you this is get rich quick, it's not. It's get rich quick, it's get rich slow, I'm sorry to tell you. But it is something solid, it is something that you can hang your hat on. If you just commit and you're consistent and you do the boring work, you do the good work, you don't chase what's sexy, it will become sexy, because working for yourself is a sexy thing, right? Like being able to support your family is a very attractive thing, okay? Something that is shiny and doesn't last is not. That sucks, because then you have to keep starting over. You be a hopper. Don't be a hopper. Be somebody who sticks to this. Don't be a common denominator where you're somebody like 3 months ago you're doing Amazon, then you're doing real estate, now you're doing GovCon. Don't do that, okay? The GovCon dream is not that. You have to build a real business, and that's what I'm here to help you do and to motivate you. And really the motivation has to come from yourself, but to show you that it is possible, and the way that it's possible, not the flashy way that's going to only last you for a couple months, okay? So with that being said, guys, again, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. I think I've shown you what I'm all about in my little couple-minute soapbox here. And more importantly, too, if you have been with me for a year, 2 years, 3 years, right? We've had this channel for over 6 years. We've been bringing the truth about government contracting. Let me know down below if you are an OG, if you are a GovCon OG, show off that you have been subscribed to the channel for a year and beyond, okay? OG status comes after a year, after 12 months, you get OG status. Below that, okay, you are considered new, and we praise you for being here and continuing to be part of our community. So again, smash the like button, subscribe, guys, get the algorithm back on our side so we can get the truth out about government contracting. And until next time, very passionately, guys, you got this.